Hello folks, welcome to the Fuka 30-minute challenge. Now, we've been hearing a lot lately about tough Fukas, but what about tight Fukas? And by that, I mean people like me. All I want to spend for a nice evening's fishing is $1.99, so I've got just one bag of the Fuka 2-in-1 original. I'm going to fish for 30 minutes and I'm going to show you guys what I can catch. So, put half a bag of these into a tub, keep the other half because I don't want them all to dry out too quick. I'm going to start the stopwatch, I'm going to see if I can catch you some fish. So, the beauty of 2-in-1, of course, I'm going to put a piece on the hook, not too deeply hooking it, so it's just nicked, because there's plenty of hook points showing. I'm fishing about 5 metres out, I'll talk you through that in a minute. And then I'm just going to feed about 6 pieces around the float. There we are. So we're in and fishing. And hopefully it won't be too long before something comes in. I've set myself a little target, by the way. Oh, that didn't take long at all. I've set myself a little target, by the way, of catching £25 in 30 minutes, which would give me, if it was a 5-hour match, that would give me obviously £250, which is normally enough to win on here. I've just seen that fish. I think the eye's pulled out of my float, so I have to be a bit careful now to see what's going to happen, folks, with that. I think this will be one of the resident carp. There's a few in here. Taking my time. This is one of them little daft ones. It's going absolutely bonkers. While I'm playing it, I'm just going to sneak a bit more bait in, so that hopefully there's one there waiting for me when we get it in. It's coming to the top. Come on, little buddy, let's have you. Might be foul hooked, I'm thinking, the way it's foul. Oh no, it's in the mouth. That's a nice start for 10. That's £2 at least, I'm saying. Just tucked in the top lip there. Right. I'm not going to worry about the float just at the minute because it seemed to sit all right for what little time it was in. Another piece of 2-in-1 on the hook. I'm actually going to feed again before I go out. And again, all I'm thinking is I want that bait to be sunk and on the bottom by the time my rig settles, so that the fish are down. I'm not getting line bites and foul hook fish. And that one was obviously in the mouth that I had there. But when it's good fishing, like it is here at the Glebe where we are tonight, near Hinckley in Leicestershire, it's very important you make sure that everything's in order. You want the fish settled when you're fishing for a big weight of fish. A lot of people are perhaps wondering why I'm choosing to throw the bait rather than kinder potting it, and that's because when the fish are hungry and when it's good and you're pleasure fishing like we are tonight, I actually think feeding by hand and using noise brings fish in. I think if you rely on a kinder pot and do things softly, yes, you'll get the accuracy, but in this context we've got a nice hard bottom down there. It's all gravel. I don't really want the fish feeding on a sixpence. I'd rather have my feeding little enough and have them competing for what bait's down there, have them as close to the bottom as they can be or settled down there as they can be. But I don't mind them feeding over a bit of an area. I think it was Dennis White that once said, can't catch under a pound of bream on a 5p piece, that's another fish. And I do agree with him. This isn't as big a fish, this is a skimmer, so I'm actually going to feed a bit heavier now. So hopefully there's a carp there waiting when we go back in. I will have to be careful though, because I've only got one bag to go through, and you could easily on a session like this go through a lot more than that. That's about 10 ounces. I'm going to say that's £2 10 ounce in 2 fish, which is grand. Right, let's get back in. See what's there waiting for me. Another piece of 2-in-1 on the hook. As I said, it's really important you just shallow hook it, because when it's good like this, you want the maximum amount of hook showing as you can. I'll talk you through my rig in a minute, but the key is, right, I've actually fed again there, just because, as I said, I want to just make sure I'm bringing some carp into the area. I don't just want to be catching these skimmers. And sometimes you do just have to use noise and feed a bit of bait to bring them in and generate some interest. I'm going to wait for a nice fast bite. Do get a few indications. Oh, that was a nice fast. Now that is foul hooked, unfortunately, folks, because I hit it about a foot under the surface, and this isn't going to end well, I don't think, for me. No. As feared. Right, let's see what we've lost. Well, luckily for me, that's pulled out, so I've not lost the hook length, which I feared I might do with that. But you can see now why I'm trying to get them all nice and settled down, because that's not the sort of thing you want to be happening when you're after a big weight. Right, so we're going back in. Another piece of the 5mm on the hook. I'm going to feed now, and I'm not going to feed when I'm in the water, because that was my mistake there. I fed some bait when the rig was in there, and that proved the point perfectly. Foul up fish off the bottom. I should have stuck to my mantra, really. But now, obviously, that bait's had a bit of time to settle. Following it in with the rig. I'm just going to be dead patient now and see how long it takes to catch one. I don't think it'll be very long. So I said I'd talk you through my rig. I've got, and there you see a nice clean bite, and that's a carp in the mouth, that is. Saw the difference, so everything was so much cleaner. You know when they're in the mouth, because you get those lovely fast bites like that. You're fishing on a hard bottom, it's just perfect, really. Feed a little bit of bait to keep them interested. Keep them coming towards me. It's just lovely this time of year to be able to get out and have these sessions like this. Not a bad fish, that. Bigger than the first one anyway. So I kept that top kit low and brought him in towards me. That fish is £3, so I've probably got £5.5 with the 3 fish I've got. It's a nutter, this one though, but that's what happens when sometimes when you land them well. I'd say that we played that fairly well and it came in nicely. You do play the price when they're in the net, I'm afraid, but that's a good fish. There we are. Right, let's get back in and get another one. So again, bearing in mind what we just thought, we don't want to be feeding when that rig's in the water, and we don't want the mic cable to catch on the arm. So that's 3 fish. I reckon I'm going to give myself £5 with them. So we're on target roughly. Right, back in we go. Again, we've just fed, so we're not going to feed. Right, let's talk you through the rig. I've got 017 reflow power main line to an 013 hook length. Sorry, it's not, it's an 015. I actually stepped up. I was going to put 013 on, I've stepped to 015 because I thought it's an evening bagging session. I've got 2 number 8 back shot about 4 inches, 3 inches I'm going to say, above the float, and that just helps me to keep it dead nicely presented. As I said, oh, that was lovely, lovely fast bite. You can see how we're settling them fish down now though, can't you? Saying that one's come off. I'm going to feed now. Right. Got a little bit of weed around one of the shot there. So we're going back in. I'm using that back shot just to make sure I'm dead on where I want to be. I've got a marker on the far bank. I said I've got that 015mm hook length. It's a size 14 Guru Super LWG, and I've just got a little strong bulk of, I'll say it's actually a tapered bulk of number 10s shot in that float, and that float's a 4x14s. I think there's 7 number 10s in a little taper, just taking it down. I do like that because even though this is positive fishing, Fuka's a heavy bait, so you don't have to worry too much about nailing it down as you might do if you're fishing with maggots when a lot of fish are in the area. I like to think of Fuka in terms of rigs and shotting patterns as being more like corn than anything, because yes, it is heavy and you can actually use that to your advantage because it fishes itself. Sticks to the bottom nicely, don't waft around. Let's wait and see if we get another bite. If not, I might have to feed, but I'm very reluctant to do that while the rig's in the water because we saw what happened when I did. So you're no doubt wondering where I am tonight because it's, as you can see, it's solid with fish. It's a gorgeous location, and it's actually Roy Marlowe's Glebe complex, which is not too far from the village of Peckleton near Hinckley. It's a lovely little place. So you can see how, oh, that was a nice bite. You can see how hungry them fish are though. You see, I would like to bet now, my next fish will be a skimmer, and that to catch a carp I'll probably have to feed some bait. But I'm going to just test that theory. I don't want to peak too early. I'm hoping for a carp. The beauty of sensate attractant is it does linger in the water column quite nicely. That's in the mouth, but I think it is a skimmer. Isn't it amazing how you can see now what's happening with this feed? If we put some in, pull the carp in. If we don't, having to make do with these skimmers. Now, there's nothing wrong with these. I mean, that's another 10 ounce. I'm going to say that one, add on to what I've got already. I've probably got £6 now. Let's get back in and have another one. Right, so I'm going to feed dead positively now before I go out. And the idea of this is, obviously, using noise and feeding to bring a carp into the peg. I'm actually going to hold that out for a second just to let that bait settle. Right, everything now should, in theory, be on the bottom. It's about 5 foot deep, and the really important thing about where I've chosen to fish is it's on the gravel, it's on a hard bottom. If you go any further than where I'm fishing, you're on silt, and you can tell that. So I fish a heavy plummet and just drop it on the bed of the lake. If you get bubbles, you know you're in trouble, you know it's silt. Or the other big telltale sign is your plummet will actually stick in it. But here, 5 metres, it's rock hard, which is absolutely perfect. A nice little bite then. Some bigger fish there again. So I'm just looking at the stopwatch, let's see how we're getting on. 11 minutes, and I'm going to have to catch a few more a bit quicker than this if I want to make my target of £25. Could do with Mr. Carp finding that. Sharpish. It's important as well, you'll notice when I get a bite, I'm not striking really hard, I'm only lifting, because as long as you leave plenty of hook points showing with the 2-in-1, you do pull the hook through quite nicely. Key to that, of course, is obviously using it fresh like we are doing. I don't want it to be sat on the bait tray, because then it does go hard. So I always like to tip a bit out. I'm hoping to use about 15 minutes worth with that first amount and then tip some more in. I'm feeling now like I need to feed again. I have just had an indication. Although there's a load of fish in the Glebe, it's not one of these overstock commercials. Roy Marlowe sums it up. He always says, at the Glebe we don't have loads of fish, we have happy fish. And by that he means he gets a healthy stocking policy and relies on good pool management and having the condition of the water good, not too much overhanging vegetation. You can see it catches the wind, so it's well oxygenated. Well, that was on. I felt that. It took the bait so hard, it actually hit the float, that did. Now I need to be careful, because this could be one of the bigger ones. It's going out there. I'm not happy with me, this one. I think he's turned. He needs to turn, otherwise we're in trouble, folks. We're bottomed out there. When you bottom you out, always get some behind you when you can. As soon as they turn, I like to shuffle a bit of pole back, just so that if they do go again, you can follow them. Like, it's going again now. I think it's in the mouth. I don't actually think this fish is foul hooked. I mean, they are absolutely wappy here in the Glebe. You can see that's bottomed me out properly. Right. I'm back on a top kick now. I'm just going to keep that low. I'm going to feed a couple more times. Hopefully there'll be one there waiting for him, but I'm not going to rush this fish, because for my target weight I don't need loads, I just need to make sure I land the ones I hook. And really, if it was I thought about it a bit more, I would have had a section behind me there, because that one was being very naughty. You live and you learn, folks, and hopefully it don't cost me in our little challenge. That's a big swirl. It's not a bad fish, but I just know what these fish are like. Sometimes they're not massive, they just really fight hard. Right, come on, Mr. Carp. Come on, come on. Yeah, he's in the mouth. He's not even that big, he's just a wild one. I thought he might be. Like Roy says, happy fish, they fight hard. He's still, I'm gonna give him £5, so we're on £11 now. So as long as we catch sharpish, the goal isn't out of sight, I don't think. Right. So we'll have to just move fast now, folks. Feed again. As I said, get them down there. We don't want to be doing that while our rig's in the water. Another piece of 5mm on the hook. One thing I should mention, these beads are annoying me. I think I've put the wrong size bead on this elastic. It's new elastic. And it seems to be sliding up. I'll have to have a look at that. Right, we're in again. Yeah, one thing I should mention is why I use that tape. I do like that little fall, I do. I think you can show the bait to the fish as well. You know, if it don't go under for a little while, you can lift it and just, because sensate is such a visual thing, and you can like spread the attraction as it leaks from the bait through the water column. So one thing I do advocate, because Fuca is quite a heavy bait, and I fish a lot with it now, you can get away with a little bit more of a strong pattern than you would with things like maggots, and it actually really works to your advantage because you can spread the bait through the water column. So we need a bite fairly quick now. Or we need some big fish in the last 15 minutes. I'd like to feed again, folks, but I'm having to keep my hand out my bait tub. Best lesson I've ever had, really, about this kind of fishing. Got a lot of really good friends who are brilliant anglers. James Dent's one of my good friends, and the saying about starving fish on the hook, there's not many people feed less than him and catch big weights of fish. But it's right, if you can just keep that discipline and be in control of your peg, always pays dividends in the long run. A lot of people get giddy being a tight Fuca with 199s worth of bait. There's no way I'm getting giddy. Right. Oh, lovely little dink, but it's a skimmer. It's not what I wanted, folks. It's a £1, or close to. They're having some bait now, though. Not on that line, they're not. Bad feeding that was. That's better. Right. Need to get them carp back in, otherwise. So that might give me £12, I'm thinking. So really are going to need some bigger carp to keep in touch with the challenge. Slime me up as well, wasting time. Right. I'm going to put some more Fuca in the tub. I've got my other half of the bag to use up now. Right, we're in. Come on. Let's do this. And do you know what? Because I'm not been overly happy and I feel I need to up the ante, I'm going to feed again with the rig in the water, which could be a mistake, but you've got to keep pushing when it's like this. There, I'm going to feed twice and try and pull a carp in, because that's what we need. I'm just hoping that nothing daft happens. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm not going to strike at any daft movements. I really do believe that noise is important. Definitely helps to bring carp in. Come on. I want a fast bite. The downside of being positive, of course, is they've got a lot of choice. And I was saying, really is a catch-22. You've got to pull the fish in the peg, you've got to get them there feeding, you've got to get them competing. That seems evident tonight, because when I have been frugal with a bait, I've caught skimmers. So we just sit and wait. It's lovely though, because you can tell the fish are feeding on a hard bottom, so you do get them lovely fast clean carp bites when one takes it. To be honest, I could probably get away if I was just out and out carp fishing. I could get away with stepping everything up a gear, like maybe going up to like a 16 elastic or a 15, and see what I mean, lovely clean bite. And that is a carp, folks. Not a big carp. I think it's another one of a similar size, but carp nonetheless. It's another angry carp. Should I follow it? I'm not going to just yet. I'm going to get a bit behind me on the puller. I think we'll get this fairly quickly with a bit of luck, because it feels like I probably spoke too soon there. I'm gutted about my float. One of my favourites, that one, Breckin. I've had some right fish on that over the years. Oh, don't go under the reeds. He's in the net anyway. Hope he's not messed the rig up. That one's a good £3, I'm saying. Could be £4 even, that. It's a broad fish. Can't quite fit my hand around it. I'm going to give myself £4 for that. That gives us £17 with that one, £16. Got a little. There's not many fish in this lake with damaged mouths. Hardly any, but this is one of the few. Little parrot mouth on it. I've got it. Right. Go on, out you go. So, feed twice now. Once, twice. Come on, you carp. It's actually slightly bent me up, that one. Just going to give it a nick back with a nail. It's not worth a full change at this juncture. With 22 minutes on the clock, it's not anyway. So, we need either an 8-pounder, no, a 9-pounder, or 2 more sharpish, basically. We want to hit our target. 22 minutes in. Again, I'm going to feed it again, even though the rig's in the water. I'm really trying to up the ante now, because that worked that time. We just did catch a carp after being more positive, didn't we? So it's notable, actually, the stamp of fish we're catching for this lake is quite small on this short pole. Might be the margins would have produced bigger fish, but that's for another challenge, another night, and we will do that at some stage. We'll have an edge fishing challenge, see what we can catch in half an hour down the edge. In terms of numbers of bites, still pretty special this, to be fair. And what finer way to spend an evening. It's a bit of a sad admission to make this, folks. I hope those of you who've made it this far into the video don't tell anybody this. But I'm actually enjoying my pleasure fishing an awful lot at the minute. I really am. It's just lovely to sit down and catch loads of fish, isn't it? Might be because we've just come out of winter, haven't we? And spring we're quite cold, but we're finally getting some good weather. That's angry. Oh, I could really do with landing this one, folks. I think it's in the mouth. I don't think it's foul up. I just think it's angry. And who can blame it with a size 14 Super LWG in its top lip? A bit on the puller. I always like to have a bit on the puller. Gives me a bit of confidence. Oh, it's a lovely fish, a ghosty. And it's a good one. That is going to put us close to our target, that one. If we can land it. Now these fight notoriously hard. Let's have a look what we've got left, 6 minutes. So we probably are going to need another one to get to the target. Or not far off. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, best fish of the night as well. He's the best fish of the night, but he's not done yet. Right, we've got him, we've got him, we've got him, we've got him, we've got him. Yes! That is £6, that. It's not, it's £5. It's a good £5. So I think my maths is correct. That puts me on £20 or £21. So I need £4 to meet the target. Right, come on, Tom, back in, quick as you can, lad. As we thought, that positive feeding's good. We've probably missed a bit of the trick with that, not doing it early. I'll tell you what, we're going to have some spare fuka here. We're not going to feed the full bag in the time, I don't think. That bead's annoying. Should have sorted that out. Right, here we go. Come on, come on, come on. We're back in. We're back in. Just over 5 minutes left. And we need a £5 fish. It's going to be close, folks, for the old record. The old, oh, don't know what happened there, but that should have been on. I'm going to feed again, it's just a few. Come on. The fish must be feeding really aggressively, because I don't know if you can see, there is a few bubbles there. But I know it's fairly clean, that bottom. I know it's pretty much hard, so I'm not 100% sure about this, folks. Might be fine, but I hooked it just off the bottom, and I don't like ever doing that. Might be that it sucked it in. It does sometimes happen to sat off the bottom and suck it in, and it's fighting like it's in the mouth. Just have a little look at this character. We need to land this. We've got 2 minutes 40 seconds or 46 seconds left. Look at it. It is big enough, that, I think, to get me to 25 or very close. Just need to make sure he goes in the net now. Yes! That is close to £5 anyway, £4 or £5. So I'm going to say we're there or thereabouts. We'll have a proper look at them when we lift the net out at the end. For now, we're just going to get back in as quick as we can and see if we can end the session with one on the whistle. And we've got 2 minutes to do it. I think if I feed positively now, getting a bit giddy and feeding bait everywhere, which isn't really good, but never mind. Right, so a piece on the hook. Back in we go. Well, at least my broken float's held out, folks, anyway. Down she goes. Let's have one on the whistle just to make sure, shall we? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? We got left 1 minute and 20 seconds left. I'm going to give myself the benefit of usual match rules. If we have one on at time, it counts. But we need to get one on. We need to get one on, folks. It's all well and good. Giving yourself these perks, you've got to make most of them, haven't you? We got 50 seconds left. It's going to be close. Oh, I felt one. Come on, 30 seconds. Look at that, there's some fish there. There's some fish there, come on. Come on. I don't think it's going to happen, folks. We need to hope we've done enough. On my watch, that's enough. That is time. 30 minutes. Well, I'm happy because I think I have got my target weight. I think it's very close. We'll have to just have a look, have a see, and then maybe you can decide. But one thing I will say is, we've still actually got about half a bag of 2-in-1 bait left. So all you other tight fookers out there, we could probably catch 50 or 60 pound easily, if not more, on one bag here tonight. Let's have a little look what we've got in the onion sack. Well folks, half an hour's fishing and yeah, there's definitely 25 to 30 pound there, maybe even a bit more, including an escaping skimmer. We'll get them back. Lovely fishing here at the Glebe. Thanks for watching and we'll see you for the next 30-minute challenge.